Dear Ayla, each person who has their faith has a different outlook, but it does stimulate us to think of the bigger picture and to look at the reasons we do whatever we do. My personal faith is not a fairy tale for Sundays. It is a realistic way of life, encompassing whatever I'm doing.
Since I was young, I have always felt we arrived on this planet with a purpose that was beyond human physical existence.
Only through having a personal relationship with God and having the support, teaching and guidance of others can you come to understand it better.
We are but fleeting on this earth, but God's love for us is eternal and full of compassion.
I still can't say when exactly I became Christian, but now I see there is a reason for living. I would define my personal faith as constant and something there for me to fall back on in times of need.
Over a period of time, I inadvertently drew away from God.
I dashed into All Souls and said the prayer and waited for something to happen. Nothing did.
I have lost my dear father and a nephew who was always a dear friend.
Many people I have loved have died, young and old. It's very painful, and each time I have questioned my beliefs.
My spiritual journey took a number of years, prompted by a series of life-changing events, including my marriage to a minister's daughter, the birth of our child, and the early death of my sister, interspersed with a lot of searching, talking, and reading.
I realized it when things weren't going well and I turned to prayer, only to find I couldn't pray, couldn't even remember the words of the Lord's Prayer.
I knew I was facing the big question, did I believe? I couldn't pretend if I did or didn't, and I wasn't sure, so I started to check it out, and eventually came the day when I believed.
I suddenly stopped in my tracks and couldn't move and could hardly get my breath, as I felt my chest swell and my whole being filling up. I knew something wonderful had happened.
From that time, I knew I was loved and was able to talk to God about anything good or bad that happened.
I seem to take them everywhere with me. They are in my thoughts far more than they were in this life. I hear their voices, maybe giving me advice, sometimes joking, always loving.
Like a shared universal love. I feel like somehow they are showing me myself and helping me on my life journey.
The church building is a special place, because that is where we come together to learn and worship.
Beautiful surroundings or modern facilities may help, but really it is the people around you and the connection you have with them and God that matters.
Every person and every inanimate object is treated with respect, for they are all part of God's universe. I see the world in all its goodness and brokenness as a gift to us.
Hope that helps and isn't too sad. For me, it's all about hope.